Hey everyone, this is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and this week I have had the absolute pleasure of driving this 2021 Alpina XB7. This is one of the most exclusive and special cars I've ever driven. It's absolutely outrageous to drive. It's an absolute hoot to look at as well. If you're unfamiliar with Alpina, they're sort of an in-house tuning company for BMW. They've been around since the mid-60s, started as strictly an aftermarket company fitting little aftermarket performance goodies to older BMWs. But over the years, they've sort of transitioned to being a full in-house tuning company, and now their own fully badged vehicles are sold right alongside normal BMWs. So this, of course, underneath all of the Alpina goodies is a BMW X7. Alpina does badge it as their own car, but of course, under all that, it is just a BMW X7. It is quite special to look at. On the outside, we have these massive 23-inch wheels. And this sort of multi-spoke design is Alpina's signature. I mean, these wheels date back so far. If you look at Alpina cars that were made in the 70s, 80s, they all have these style-esque wheels on them. Sets Alpina aside from every other manufacturer. We also have a front lip here that says Alpina, makes the whole appearance of the car appear lower to the ground. Pretty cool there. And if we step around to the back, you'll see that we have a different rear diffuser as well as quad exhaust tips. And as I mentioned, we have the Alpina badging Alpina XB7, but they do keep the BMW badges on the back and in the front. This car is properly dirty, as I'm sure you've noticed. We've been driving it to its full potential, as I'm sure the Alpina CEO would recommend. They build these cars to go 200 miles an hour on the Autobahn. In fact, this XB7, I think, is electronically limited to 180, but the speedo goes up to 210, which is kind of terrifying to think about in a big three-row SUV like this. But enough of the exterior. Let's go ahead and step inside. You can see how special this thing really is. There are Alpina badges everywhere on the inside. They really want you to know you're in an Alpina. Light up Alpina on the door sill, a actual hard Alpina badge on the floor mat. We have a badge on the cubby here that says BMW Alpina XB7 exclusive automobile. We've got an Alpina badge on the trim here, and of course in the steering wheel you can get a close look here. Super cool badge. We've got like a crankshaft here on the right, and then what appears to be some ITBs on the left. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is what it looks like to me. Super cool badge, lets you know about the company's motorsport aftermarket tuning history of spicing up classic BMWs and still doing this today. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. It's like 90 degrees out. I'm roasting. Power steering wheel. Oh yes, we've unlocked another Alpina badge there on the cluster, as you can see. You'll never forget you're driving an Alpina in this thing, let me tell you. We have some BMW individual white leather. I think it really brings together the look of this car, especially with the Amatrin exclusive sort of dark purple metallic exterior color. Very cool as well. Very nice spec on this Alpina XB7. It makes me happy that they gave us such a cool spec. Inside we've got wireless Apple CarPlay as well, because, you know, wouldn't expect any less from a car of this caliber. Everything in here is leather. I mean, this takes extended leather to a whole nother level. You've even got leather on like the kick part of the door panel, like where your foot normally hits. It's all stitched, it's leather. Upper part of the door panel, that's leather. The entire top of the dash is leather. The whole headliner is Alcantara, including the sun visors, including the pillars. That's all Alcantara. It's such a nice place to be in here. You can really see where BMW is putting their money when it comes to their SUVs, because the interiors are absolutely next level, especially in this Alpina XB7. Alpina always has this sort of light medium brown wood design. It's a very signature piece for Alpina. Very cool to see. I've also just noticed another Alpina badge here on the iDrive selector right in the middle. Right next to that though, we do have our normal crystal shift knob that you find in any BMW nowadays. Really, I think they offer it on quite a few of their vehicles. So that's cool to see in here. You know, it's kind of the least they could do for as much as this car costs, which we'll get to in a little bit once we start driving. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take this XB7 out on the road and see what it's like to drive. All right, I'm gonna give you a little taste of this right away. Actually, I'm gonna wait till we get over the railroad tracks, and then I'll give you a taste of this thing. Oh! Oh! You just don't expect that amount of oomph from a 6,000-pound three-row SUV. It is absolutely mind-boggling the way that this thing performs. When I got in this the other day, if I'm being honest, I didn't really know what to expect. I had never even seen an Alpina XB7. I had only seen the B7, the sedan version of this car. And I got in this thing, and I pulled out of the warehouse, and I got on the gas, and I was like, holy smokes, this is absolutely unreal. I cannot believe that they have made this perform the way that it does. 612 horsepower from BMW's iconic 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8, or twin-power turbo, whatever you want to call it. Unreal. 612 horsepower, 590 foot-pounds of torque, propels this SUV to 60 in 3.7 seconds. Yeah, this goes 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, and it really does that. It absolutely smacks your head onto the headrest, which, good thing it's a very soft, cushy headrest in this car. It doesn't hurt at all. Being an Alpina, there are some sort of traditional features in this car that are passed down from other Alpinas of the past. For example, we don't have paddle shifters on this car, and no Alpina ever has. They always have little buttons that are morphed into the steering wheel, and on older cars, they used to be on the front, so you'd hit them with your thumbs in the front here. But on this car, they're actually on the back of the steering wheel. I'll insert a shot here so you can see what I'm talking about. They're just little circles on the back that, you know, act the same as paddle shifters, but they don't stick up and spoil the looks of the steering wheel. So that's pretty cool right there. As you all know, the Daily Motor test route is currently under construction, and so is the backup test route. I don't know what's going on right now, but it seems that Michigan has just decided to shut down all of our good driving roads since we're now getting to the end of the season, I guess. Yeah, this is not ideal. Definitely not ideal. So, as I mentioned earlier, everything that I've just listed does come with quite a hefty price tag. The Alpina XB7 starts at $141,000. As spec'd with the 23-inch wheels, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, the exterior and interior colors, a couple of other odd options. This particular car comes out to $156,000. So, you know, after everything, you're looking at well over $160,000 for this SUV. So it's a little bit stressy to drive around, especially through situations like that. It's not the most settling thing, especially considering its size. But once you're out on an open road, you really forget about the size of this thing because of the way that it handles. It's so nimble, it's so light on its feet, which it just makes no sense. A car like this should not perform the way that it does. I took a Cloverleaf the other day at 60 miles an hour, and it didn't even squeal the tires. In fact, the stability control did start to kick in at a point, but it handled it like a pro. I mean, this thing is just... Oh... that was 60 right there. I mean, just, it's effortless performance. This car has absolutely spiced up the three-row SUV segment. I know what you're thinking, well, what about the Mercedes GLS 63? This is better because, for one thing, it's more exclusive, okay? And you just don't expect the amount of performance you get from this. When you get in a GLS 63 AMG, you expect it to be brutal because it's an AMG. Alpinas have always been sort of smooth and elegant, but this one has a little bit of a brutal side to it if you put it in the right settings and drive it in the desired format. It's absolutely unbelievable. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Alpina's first SUV in America. Outside of the US, they actually get near every BMW model in an Alpina trim. But since we're only American, we're usually limited to just a 7 Series and an occasional 6 Series. Before BMW killed the 6 Series Grand Coupe, we did have that very briefly in Alpina form. But it's really always just been the 7 Series. Starting with the E65 generation, we had that, I don't want to say mass-produced, but we had those in numbers over here, the F01, and then the previous generation 7 Series and the current. And now this, the XB7. So it's pretty cool to see that Alpina is expanding the vehicles that they produce over here in America. I would love to see more. I'd love to see an Alpina XB5 because it would essentially just be this in slightly smaller form, and I think it would be even better. But with what we have right now, I'm super happy with this car. I don't really want to get out of it. It's a really nice place to be. At normal cruising speeds, when you are stuck behind traffic, the XB7 is insanely comfortable. The seat is so soft and plush. The suspension tuning is absolutely on point. This car is actually on air suspension, so it's super duper soft. You can lower it down for sport mode. You can lift it up if you want it to be in its VMAX mode or whatever, to go over big bumps and whatnot. I don't know why you'd ever use that mode in an Alpina, but you can do it. It's there if you want. Alpina always tunes their cars to be very smooth. They've actually tuned this 8-speed ZF gearbox to be even smoother than the normal unit that you find in a normal BMW X7. And you can tell at any speed. At slow driving, silky smooth. Fast driving, silky smooth. It's absolutely unbelievable the way that they make these cars go so fast to the point that you don't even notice when you're doing it, because they're just so smooth. Whenever I'm on the highway in this thing, I look down, I'm going 90 miles an hour, and it feels like I'm going 40. I mean, the way that this car is refined is absolutely unreal. Now, with all of that being said, you do have, yep, you see, it actually just demonstrated what I'm about to explain, and I have absolutely no idea what it's doing right now. Home, United States. Anyways, what I was about to say is, with all of those good things out of the way, you do get some of the irritating, over-engineered BMW technical things that are just irritating to live with. For example, gesture control. As you saw, I just thought that I gestured it to do something, and I didn't. Gesture control is a little bit, of a gimmicky thing. It carries over to the Alpina. Why wouldn't it? Everything's also very complicated. Like the rear seats and the third row seats, folding those down took me like 10 minutes to figure out the other day. There's buttons back there that you have to hold down for like 10 seconds to power the rear seats down. There's no straps or anything to do it manually, because, why would you want to do anything manually when you have an Alpina? And I get it. I get that things should be power, it should be effortless, but sometimes it's a little over-engineered, and you just want to get the seats down, you want to get it over with, and unfortunately you can't do that in this car. Also, when you put the third row seats down, you lose control of the middle row of seats, and by that I mean it completely locks you out of your controls for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but it did that to me yesterday. I had to lock the car, restart it, put the third row seats back up in order to move the rear seats back so I could have rear passengers in the car yesterday. So lots of just little irritating technical things with this car that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, because this car is an absolute weapon, and none of that matters at all. In fact, don't listen to any of what I just said. I mean, should this car be holding the road now at 70 miles an hour around these corners? The brake pedal feel is great. Oh, yeah. It doesn't feel heavy. You don't feel this car's weight into the corners. Wow. Just wow. What other 6,000-pound three-row SUV can do that? And do it smoothly while air conditioning your back and massaging you. It does have massaging seats. I didn't mention that earlier. Not the best massaging seats, but we'll gloss over that part. They are there. All right, I've got to be quick about this, but all that stuff I said earlier about smoothness? It's not smooth when you launch it. It's absolutely brutal. Watch this. Ooh. Ooh, and that's 60. That's the one time you can get something that's not smooth out of this Alpina. When you brake torque it from a stop, it goes, and it hooks hard. I think my camera moved. You'll probably see that. It's absolutely unreal the way that this car takes off and can hit 60 in under 4 seconds. I can't believe the way that this thing performs. It surprises me every time I do it. You think by now I would be used to it? I'm not used to it. You get used to driving this huge three-row SUV around, and after like 3 days, it takes my breath away and makes my stomach drop every time. It's such a special car, this thing is. And usually three-row SUVs are not special. This is so special. If you're a fan of Daily Motor and you watch all of our... No. if you're a fan of Daily Motor and you watch a lot of our reviews, you'll know that a lot of the road surfaces around our test area are like this. They're loose stones that have been sort of glossed over with this disgusting black goop. But anyways, they make the road really loud, and you can often hear that in our audio, and you can hear the road noise quite a bit than just a normal road like this one here. In the Alpina, you like can't hear it. It's so quiet in here. The noise is somehow suppressed, which doesn't make any sense because this thing is riding on 23-inch wheels with tiny little sidewalls on the tires. But somehow they still managed to make this thing insanely quiet in every single way. It's only really loud if you're absolutely on it, you know, whether that be in normal or sport mode. When you're on it, that's when you can get some loudness out of it, but otherwise, it is absolutely whisper quiet in here. And even with this car being as expensive and as exclusive as it is, I don't feel super showboaty driving it. I don't feel like I'm showing off. And I don't know if that's because this is in sort of an understated dark color and it's got dark colored wheels and everything like that, but I don't feel like I'm showing off. I feel like if you buy an Alpina, you're buying it for you. You're buying it because you're an enthusiast. And if you are quite a wealthy enthusiast that has quite a large family and you need third row seating, the Alpina XB7 is the absolute ultimate daily. I mean, ultimate. There is nothing else that you can buy in this segment that is as just straight up cool as this car. The cool factor on this car is absolutely unreal and is unmatched by any other three-row SUV, and I'm sticking to that. There is nothing else in this segment that hits the cool factor like this car. So with all that being said, is the Alpina worth its crazy $150,000, $160,000 price tag? I don't know. I think that it's right for its market because, like I just mentioned, if you're buying an Alpina, you are an enthusiast. And if you're buying an Alpina, you don't care that it's $160,000. If you're not interested in an Alpina, you can get something that's almost as good, i.e. the X7 M50i, and go on your way for, what, 60-70% of the price of this car and save a little bit of money. I think that this car is priced right for its target audience. They don't make a whole lot of these. 160 grand is whatever to the person that buys this. They don't care. It's appropriate. The car is exclusive enough. It's special enough, I think, to justify the price tag. I really just like this thing in every way, apart from the few little BMW odds and ends, but it is really a special car, and it has a special place in my heart, and it's been one of the best cars that I've ever driven. I was going to say it's one of the best cars we've had here on Daily Motor, but it's one of the best cars I've ever driven. Just the pure character and soul of this car you don't find very often, and especially you don't find it in SUVs. This is a properly special car, this one is, and I'm so happy that I've gotten the chance to drive this, because who gets the chance to drive an Alpina? Like, this is properly special territory here in this car today. Alright everyone, that is going to conclude our drive of the Alpina XB7. The GoPro overheated, so that is why I am now stationary and not driving. But thank you so much for watching. Do one more little walk around to this thing here so you can appreciate its beauty. See here into the back seat, we've got tablets on there. Quality leather, power controls, good stuff. But anyways, like I said, thank you all so much for watching. This has been Christopher Brower with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.